A very good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sukhmeet, representing A2P. This is the scene which happens every year in North India, a lot of paddy straw being burned, and which causes a lot of pollution. And this is not just an India problem. This is a whole Southeast Asia problem. If you see the map, these are the red dots is the burning fire, which is tracked by NASA satellite. We don't say it's a problem. It causes a lot of pollution in Delhi, which is the capital of India. It has caused, in terms of Delhi being the most polluted capital in the world, which is 2018 World Air Quality Report. And from a health perspective, it has caused the children in Delhi to have smaller lung size compared to the children in US. This is a recent journal publication which was published in 2018. From an economic point of view, it's a $30 billion loss every year to the Indian economy, which is 1.5 times the budget of health and education for India. So we don't call it we are solving a challenge, we are solving an epidemic here. On one side, we have these problems related to health, environment, and farmers, right? So farmers burn this waste. On the other hand, they don't have enough money for their livelihood. 1,000 farmers for last 16 years have been doing suicides in the state of Punjab alone, which is the northern part in India. Apart from that, from a business perspective, we have 35 million tons of prospective supply of a raw material which is being burned. And then you see in terms of the industry, India bans pet coke, import for use as a fuel efficient India. So these are the problems for the fuels for the industry. These are the dots we are joining as an Agri2Power. We have commercialized different products, one being fuel for boilers, animal feed, biocoal, paddy straw, paddy board. So we have a range of products. Ultimately, the point is the value should go to the farmers and some useful products should be made for the industry. We use a lot of technology, otherwise will not be a profitable business. So we use machine learning to scan the fields before the harvesting and see where there are large tracts of paddy field which will be burned. So we go there and explain to farmers, don't burn, we will come and take. So this reduces our operational cost by approximately 12%. And that's in fact, our margin for the complete operation. We do a lot of, I'm from an R&D background, we do a lot of these tie-ups with different universities to help us commercialize different products, material science, right fuel mix. We have some patents also applied with these R&D institutes as a joint patents. From an impact perspective, we have worked with 900 tons of paddy straw with 45 farmers, approximately saving carbon which will have been emitted for 285s running throughout the year. So from a team perspective, I have a research background and industry background for the last 15 years. My other co-founder, ex-dean of Ashton University. From a customer's perspective, we're already working with Pepsi, IKEA supply chain. We supply them as of now the fuel and HUL, which is the Unilever in India. We were also given first prize among 522 companies across India, being the enterprise solving this whole problem. We were tweeted by Prime Minister's office in India. Now, what we are looking for, so we have this current plant. We now what is the ideal plant for using the paddy straw. Now we are working for 2 more plants. One is for biofuel and another is for board, and then some amount in R&D. These are the numbers which we will save, from a CO2 and other impact numbers. We'll save 2,000 acres worth of paddy straw in next year. Now, we have used risk capital in the current year. Now we want to prepare for mass replication. This is what we are planning to do for the next year, for which we are asking for investment. Once we know that these 2 are the ideal plants, energy plant and paddy board plant, we will mass replicate it in 22 districts in Punjab and whole of Southeast Asia. This is our plan, and these are the numbers we'll promote. We'll work with 20,000 farmers, save 70,000 tons of CO2 in a year, and at least work in Punjab, 22 districts. And there's an opportunity to replicate in whole of Southeast Asia. Thank you.
And now we have 6 minutes of questions from our judges as well. Now,
I wanted to understand better how this particular award will help you with your further plans in the future.
Okay, so now we know what is an ideal plant. We have invested so much money in R&D, working with different institutes. We have a plant which we have utilized risk capital for. Now we know what is an ideal plant we want to set up. Once that plant is set up, we want to replicate it either through a franchisee model or village level entrepreneurs to take that technology and replicate. We as a company can't replicate even for one state because the problem is so huge. It's 35 million tons of paddy straw which is there. We want to put these two plants in ideal plants, which will have exactly that this much is the investment. This is the right technology which works on paddy straw, and this is how it will give you a profit margin of this percentage, and this then can be replicated in whole of India and whole of Southeast Asia. That's our plan. This we call it as in management terms sometimes valley of death. If we don't scale up right now, we will also go away because a small plant, we are not so much profitable that it can sustain even the management salaries or the plant salaries. So the point is, if you don't scale up, we will, if this stage is missing, we will also go away then.
Can you explain a little bit about the benefits to the farmers and the local communities?
Okay.
What's the business model? What do they get out of participating with this?
So I'll explain. We work with village level entrepreneurs. We promote village level entrepreneurs to buy the machinery for collection. We do a buyback contract with them that you collect it for 1 acre of straw which we buy from the farmers. We pay them 3,000 rupees, which is approximately 15% additional income what they will be generating. That's a huge amount for them, seeing that 1,000 farmers doing suicide because of the economic reasons in just one state in Punjab. So if we give them additional 15%, that will at least help us give them some additional income. Otherwise, there is no use, they just burn, and they also don't burn happily. They know that first smoke, they say, is inhaled by their family, and then it goes to the capital of India. So they are not very happy burning. If we are able to give them something, they treat us as people who have come and helped us. One is giving economic return. Second is solving this big problem that they don't have to inhale this smog, which becomes is a huge problem.
So as you said, you're not dealing with a challenge, you're really dealing with an epidemic. What really keeps you motivated to wanting to do more? Because I'm sure it's been a tough journey over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
And what is the biggest risk that you encounter today as you stand in front of us?
So the biggest risk is, so one is first, what keeps us motivating, seeing from a research background, reading the journals which say that the lungs of children in Delhi are smaller because of this air pollution. This is not highlighted by any media, correct? But we have access to the journals, and that is what the problem is. Seeing the children, my family also lives in Delhi, and seeing the children having smaller lungs, such a huge impact of this air pollution, it keeps us motivated that we have to solve the problem. And then you go to the farmer level, and they say that the income is not so much to sustain their 1,000 suicides every year, correct? So the point is, how do you, one is solve the air problem. Second is, how do you give additional income to the farmers? And on the third side, there's an industry, right? So there's an industry, entrepreneurs in the manufacturing space, they don't get good fuel to use, right? So this is how we said that, okay, why don't we all come together? And there is such a good support from the R&D institutes, different, we have worked with European Bioenergy Research Institute, Aston University, UK, Indian national universities, which help us that, okay, try this material, which help us to produce useful products from the paddy straw, which nobody else is able to do. That's why Government of India supported us and gave us the first prize that, hey, you are using good technology to solve a huge problem.
You're talking about here replicating solutions to other Southeast countries. Can you talk a little bit more about how you see scaling up? Obviously, you have a massive problem within India, but looking to see where else you're heading to in the future?
So I was really amazed in terms of seeing a recent report in March. Thailand government declared an emergency because of smog. It really catched my eye. I said, smog, it's a well-heard term in Delhi in India, but then I researched and saw that it's the same problem, right? So wherever there's a rice being cultivated, paddy being cultivated, farmers burn it. So that's where the replication is so important. People have tried putting up huge energy plants which have failed because transporting paddy straw is a huge problem. What we have said that we will replicate it village by village, village by village. In one plant, we cover 1,500 acres because otherwise the transportation cost of getting the raw material becomes so huge, the whole model fails. That's why we said that we will replicate in smaller models and the similar thing, right? So if you go to a village in, let's suppose in Thailand, correct? So you say that we will put a huge plant, nobody will, villager will say, we will get so much land, we will get so much raw material. We say that we put one plant which covers 1,500 acres. Right? So that is our strategy, smaller plants, but multiple plants to cater to the big problem.